Hey guys, Casey here, post-recording session in the editing room. Just wanted to let you know that every time you hear this sound in the podcast, that means that it's just basically me getting everything back on track. This is the second time we recorded this episode because the first time there were a slew of technical problems, and turns out in this recording there is also a slew of technical problems. So we are going to work on that, obviously get a fix for that. But for this episode, you are going to notice a lot of beeps. But don't worry, nothing substantial, nothing huge. Huge portions are cut out of the podcast. It's just shortened by a few minutes because of all the problems with syncing. I tried my best. I'm very sorry. We will be back on track next week, but enjoy the episode.
Hey, welcome back to the Fresh Morning Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about why Earl Grey tea is just one of our favorite teas in the large loose leaf collection. Casey, you're a big tea guy. What's your favorite kind of tea without Googling any?
Well, Earl Grey really is, it's in the top tier, probably top 3, if we're being honest. I do like a good mint tea, and I do like a good Lipton tea. So,
Excuse me, did you just say a mint tea?
Yes, a mint tea. It's like spearmint tea,
You know what? I hate mint, and I hate you. I don't want to do this freaking show with you anymore. Instead, I want to talk about movies because you have such stupid tea opinions. I hate you so much.
Okay, man.
So would you be up for another topic or like movies or something?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Freaking idiot. I'd punch you if I was there in person.
I'd punch myself too.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
Mind Over Movies does not condone domestic abuse in any way, shape, or form. Thank you.
Yes, that was just a joke. How are we on this snow day, Isaac? You dodge.
Oh God, we're so snowed right now. I'm looking out my window right now, and it's pouring snow.
Yeah.
I mean, can you say pouring when it comes to snow? 'Cause that's what it looks like.
I guess so. I don't know. I'd say it's more like a freaking blizzard out there right now.
If the big man upstairs has a bucket, he's dumping a lot of snow on us.
He's shaking that bucket of snow on us.
If rain is angel pee, what's snow?
Dandruff.
Yeah, I'm thinking dandruff too.
Yeah.
Ew.
They need some better shampoo up in the big house, man.
Bro, I've got some in my shower. I'd love to lend them. Did you manage to catch any movies while we've been snowed in through this nuclear winter?
I caught one last night, actually.
Whoa.
Oh, actually, I've caught 2. One was for a class though. A few days ago. I'll talk about it briefly.
Hey, if you watch to learn, that doesn't count. That's just not. You're not learning the right way.
Well, how do you learn?
You teach yourself everything. Like I taught myself the alphabet. A, G, K, Y, H. I forgot how the rest goes. Do you want to take the big talk boom boom now?
Yeah, I mean, hey, keep working on it though, Isaac. You'll get it eventually. The alphabet.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's hard, but I watched J'ai tout il elle. It's a French, or actually it's Belgian, I guess, film by Chantal Akerman, and it is insane, to say the least. It's essentially an hour and a half of watching a woman in despair eat sugar out of a bag and lay around her house completely naked. It's an odd film, and at the same time, even though it is quite boring, it is quite awesome, to be honest with you. Because
these are some
do what?
Opposite adjective. These are some opposite adjectives you're bringing.
I know. It's an interesting film. Like it is very like boring, but like like when I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, like okay, it's one of these. I'm not really a big fan of like super like realist movies, like realism and stuff. But there was like a viciousness to this movie. There is a 15-minute long lesbian sex scene. That is it's just the camera in two different angles. One angle lasts for about 8 minutes, the other lasts for about 5 minutes, and it's a completely still angle watching two lesbians just have sex. But it's weird. It's not normal sex. It's very what's the word here that I'm looking for? Frustrated. Like they're like both sexually frustrated, but not doing anything about it. I don't know.
So it's not very gratifying then.
Yeah. Which it's not supposed to be. I don't guess so because like it's a feminist movie. You can view it through like a feminist lens and stuff. And when we were talking in like group, we were like had a group that was talking about it, and one guy was like. Said something to the effect of like I didn't feel like I should have been watching that, like it was like I was intruding like on them, because the film really flips the male gaze like back onto the viewer and makes them uncomfortable, which is why I say it's a vicious film, because it's a 15-minute long sex scene that's not gratifying or sexual or arousing whatsoever. It's pretty awesome, to be honest with you. So I guess that's what I mean. But anyway, what'd you watch?
Oh man, I watched something just as powerful, probably with a bit heavier of a message. Have you ever heard of like the Phantom Menace?
I knew you were about to say that shit. I do love me some Padme Amidala. 15-year-old Padme Amidala, that is.
Yeah. I mean, so does Anakin, 9-year-old Anakin. It asks the viewer, what are you comfortable with? Can a 9-year-old and a 14-year-old have sexual chemistry? I mean, can they?
Are you an angel?
What are you going to go do?
Please stop. I'm going to, I forgot now that you fucking said that.
My bad.
No, so... I don't know. Go on. Never mind. I can't.
Okay.
What it was.
Poor Casey's broken. We've been talking about Phantom Menace all of 30 seconds.
That's what it does to me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It had been a long time since I'd watched any of the prequel movies. Like, I think I rewatched Revenge of the Sith this last year for fun, and that one was not like as great as I remembered it being. So I was really worried about Phantom Menace, because in my head for years, like, this movie was like not as bad as people say. Like, oh, it's my childhood Star Wars. Like, this one can be beloved to me too. But oh my god, this movie's a piece of crap.
Yeah, dude.
It's a big turd. I mean, just like, talk about hard to follow, boring, and worst of all, like, not very Star Warsy. Like, I hate when fans use that these days.
Yeah.
But like, the Phantom Menace just is like so filled to the brim with like politics and like kind of racist stereotypes, like Watto and I would say Jar Jar to an extent that don't really land. Like, they're not very funny, but they're in the movie like a lot. And then on top of that, you've got like George Lucas went 100% on the computer generated effects. Like,
he was having a time.
Yeah, and I mean, in 1999, mind blowing probably. Like, you come to Star Wars and you're like, oh my god, what is this madman doing with computers? But watching it nowadays, everything looks like,
like oh god, what is this madman doing with computers?
It's like the worst It's the worst looking PlayStation 2 game you can think of, with like a slight like graphics mod on it. Like that's how it looks like. Because I mean, some of it holds up. Like the pod racing, especially, still looks good. I would say.
Oh yeah, the pod racing scene with no music whatsoever.
I think that's why people remember Phantom Menace so fondly without having seen it for a while. Is this got really great moments hidden in there? Like the Darth Maul fight is still really well choreographed, I would say. Like I do like that style that they brought to the prequels. You know, some people say it's emotionless. It looks more like a dance rather than a fight. But like, I don't know. I feel like what they're going for in this movie is like, everyone is so trained with the lightsaber. Like it's a time of discipline and and rigorous study. And maybe I'm thinking of it more than George Lucas like actually thought of it. But like, I think the reason you see Luke and Darth Vader just like hacksawing at each other in Empire Strikes Back is Luke doesn't fucking know how to use a lightsaber. Like he's been
yeah, exactly.
He's been using it all of like 3 years, and Yoda didn't even finish training him yet. So I mean, it's completely different. And I mean, also Luke is filled with rage each time he encounters Darth Vader. Like the only time he wins is when he throws that thing aside and he says like, you know what, Emperor, just like kill me already if you're gonna do it, because I'm not gonna kill my daddy even though I lopped off his arm.
Very true.
Yeah, I don't know what can be said about Phantom Menace that hasn't already been said. Just that it surprised me this time, just how bad it was.
Yeah, dude, I rewatch. I try to rewatch all Star Wars. It's weird. I rewatch them like every 2 to 3 years, and every time I get to the prequel trilogy, I always go in for some reason thinking like, you know, this cannot be as bad as I remember it being last time. And then I watch it, and it's completely worse than what I remember of it being last time. And it only gets worse and more degrading as I get older. So I'm really scared to watch them again, because the last time I saw them was freshman year of college. So, which has been a little over 3 years ago. So I am due for another watching of the Star Wars. So I can't wait.
I just keep your expectations low. Maybe you can face it that way, but I don't know. I don't know what's low enough, because I walked into this one thinking, oh man, I need to adjust my expectations, and I was still let down. I was like, God, you're making me look a fool, Star Wars. You're making me look silly.
Made everybody look silly. It's a silly,
What?
silly fan base. I'm just kidding.
It is. I honestly, I love Star Wars fans, but I also freaking hate Star Wars fans,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I gotta
Like,
agree.
it's about 50-50 on that.
Yeah.
You know,
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, you know who also hates Star Wars? Probably Gina Carano now.
Oh my God, yeah. Ooh, I forgot about that little tidbit of news.
Yeah, if you thought that Otto, the Jewish stereotype in Phantom Menace is bad, just wait till you hear what Cara Dune of The Mandalorian has to say about Jews.
Jamie, pull that up. What was the exact? I wanna read off the exact tweet that was the last straw for them.
It was like about comparing being conservative today to being a Jew in the Holocaust, like,
Yeah, that was it.
which for many reasons that we probably can't even get into on today's podcast. It's just
Yeah.
a bit of a stretch,
Yeah. Yeah.
to say the least.
I just, here's the thing. People, the big debate going on with the Gina Carano thing right now is that it's her opinion that, you know, she may be right leaning. Nobody should get fired for their political beliefs. Yes, this is true. You should not get fired for your political opinion, but her opinion in my opinion, was straddling over to not a political opinion, to just absolute nonsense, including apparently she had boop bop beep in her Twitter bio. That was basically, kind of like pronouns, and many people thought she was like openly mocking trans people and the LGBTQ community. And also the other tweets about her not believing about if masks really worked with the virus, and just obviously, a really big, I guess, influenced by like a bunch of disinformation going on in 2020. And if you thought that maybe she wasn't kind of sort of like in like far right leaning, maybe she was just moderately Republican, just look at exactly what she did right after she gets fired. She signs a deal with Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire.
Oh God.
I mean, come on. I mean, she just proved if you wanted this to be like a whole thing about like, cancel culture's stupid and it's just a political opinion that you fired me for. Don't go fucking work for Ben Shapiro. I mean, God bless, dude. That's like the dumbest shit she could have done. So,
I feel like this has happened like a couple times in the past. I can't think of any like specific examples right now, but like Republicans really like to plead like I'm being fired for my political beliefs.
Yeah.
Like it's like in their eyes they're saying like I'm being fired because I just said I'm a Republican, not because I did anything. But in all of these situations, especially this situation, it's because the party being fired usually eggs on the company hiring them, like, to the point where, like, what else are they supposed to do? Like, these social media posts have for months. And, I mean, she only owes it to herself that her career is coming to a crashing, like, halt because they were going to maybe give Cara Dune a spin-off show, apparently, which I thought was really annoying. And let me go on record as saying that I have never really liked the character of Cara Dune, which I know is really easy after a controversy like this, but like I always felt like she was half-baked on The Mandalorian, and even like her presence in the end of season 2, I'm like, why are you here? Who is friends with you? Like, why? Why?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel the same way, so I'm with you there. I didn't enjoy her character.
And I get that it's so easy, like, after a controversy like this, to be like, oh, I never liked her.
Yeah.
But think of it this way. Now the Republicans who watch Star Wars TV are coming out and being like, Cara Dune was the best character ever. My little girl looks up to Cara Dune. The fact that they would even... God dang. I'm gonna have to stop watching Star Wars.
No,
Shoot.
God.
There's been like 3 different points where everyone has said they've got to stop watching Star Wars, and it didn't happen after Last Jedi. It didn't happen after Disney initially bought Star Wars, and let me tell you, it's not going to happen now that one conservative crazy nuthead has been fired from the franchise. Like, this is a money-making machine, whether Gina Carano's on board, and honestly, good riddance. Like, if you're going to play stupid games, be prepared to win stupid prizes. I mean, that's the ultimate saying for a reason, and I mean, I don't think there's any other way to describe what she did. She just played fast and loose with people's, like, feelings, with genuine information. Like, she was spreading disinformation, and I mean, she was pretty much taunting Disney to fire her until they did. So, I mean, I hope you're happy. Like,
how many movies do you think are going to be made about the Trump presidency now that it's finally out of office? Like, how many years do you give it?
Oh God, I give it till like the pandemic ends, and then we're gonna get that someone's gonna have already filmed a Trump movie, and like it's gonna be marketing like which actor is playing Trump. It's gonna be pretty much like Oscar bait. It's like, which actor can really nail his mannerisms? Hopefully it's not Alec Baldwin, because I'm sick and tired of his Trump impression.
Dude, I never thought his Trump impression was adequate. I never liked it on like SNL.
No, I just don't really like when celebrities come in and do roles that like I think cast members should be able to do. Like I never really liked Jim Carrey coming on and doing Joe Biden either.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they both left. I think that the only person that I've really liked doing an impression of a political candidate on SNL has been Larry David as Bernie Sanders. And I mean, I think that's perfect just in general because they're cousins. So like, why not, you know?
Yeah,
But
true.
everyone else is just kind of annoying to see them come back every week. And I'm glad they stopped doing that.
I just hate SNL in general. Like, I don't find it funny at all.
Really? Have you ever found it funny or?
I may be a sheep, but obviously when like there's the bits what's his name? I feel so bad I forgot his name. He's a legend. He did the Van Down by the River skit.
Oh, Chris Farley.
Chris Farley, yeah. Dude, I love that freaking skit. I know everybody does, but I like that kind of era of SNL, like several episodes from then I really like. But like from like when I remember watching it even when I was younger, like when I was like 14 or 15, it was really bad. Even before then, it was really bad. I think, like, I don't know, like, especially now, like, I just don't find SNL funny, like, whatsoever. I would much rather watch the Eric Andre show on repeat.
Yeah.
I just think I think the Eric Andre show is the hell world of SNL, and I think that it is absolutely hilarious. I think Eric Andre is just funnier than every person they have on SNL. I don't know. And I hate this trend with movies being made with SNL stars that are like comedies and all they're acting like is their SNL personality. It's so stupid.
Well, that's always been like the move with Saturday Night Live movies. Like all the ones that are based on sketches or star like actors from the show have just always been like trying to recapture that Saturday Night Live energy. And there's like only a couple times where it's worked out. Like Wayne's World is probably the only Saturday Night Live movie that I can think of where it actually translated pretty well to a movie. And it translated so well that I was surprised to find out that it was an SNL sketch. Like, I just thought it was a really funny movie, you know, back in the day. Like, I had no idea that there was a sketch it was based on. And honestly, Wayne's World, the movie, trounces. I don't want to use the word trumps anymore. Not anymore. Too soon. But Wayne's World movie trounces the sketch, in my opinion. Like, it's just way funnier. I will agree with you that, like, SNL just isn't as funny right now, and especially, like, the movies and television shows being made with, like, cast members right now seem kind of half-baked. I think its biggest problem is that reality has become so absurd, you know, especially in our political spectrum. Like, this has been a problem since Trump took office. It's just like everything that happens is ridiculous and ludicrous. And SNL, by trying to like relay events as they exactly happened, by trying to spoof real life, all they're really doing is giving us kind of like a poorly acted out recap of our week. And I mean, sometimes it's funny. Like, I've been watching the show pretty consistently for the past 4 years, and I think it just kind of depends on, like, the host who comes in or the writers who are doing the sketches. But, like, I feel especially whenever they veer into politics, it's just like, yeah, this is what happened this week. This isn't really funny when you point it out. It's, like, the same still. This week was funny. They had Regina King, who I think is extremely talented, come
I love her.
She's hilarious. But of course the show opened up with another you know, political cold open, and you know, like, the only bit that I really thought was funny was actually a clip that used Phantom Menace, because they were kind of like clowning on how the Trump lawyers their defense was like, you know what? It was okay that he says fight because other people say fight, and then it was showing clips of like Democrats saying fight, and then it slowly became like movies like Welcome to Fight Club and like other stuff. And then the best clip was Jar Jar Binks saying, Gungan's not dying without a fight. We surrest our case.
That's pretty good.
It lands sometimes, Casey. I don't know. It depends on the host.
Like, I agree. Like with Saturday Night Live, they're trying to like spoof real life, and like right now, real life does not need any spoofing. It does not need, like, I guess the whole point to me of SNL is to parody life events, but when real life feels like a parody right now, like there's not a whole lot of more humor you can get out of it by actors doing a skit. But I feel like with Eric Andre, he's been doing this like longer than the world has been as crazy. I think he started in 2014, 2015, something like that, and his stuff is just so rich in, like, I the best way for me to describe it is to call it Hell World. It's like an alternate reality, and I think what he does is just like the surrealist humor, and it gets me. Like, that's my favorite type of humor, is he does shit that just doesn't make any sense, but like makes you laugh your ass off. Like, that's my kind of humor, and I can't believe he's been doing it this long, and not everybody knows, like he still gets guests on there that have no clue what is happening. I don't know.
Those are the best interviews.
Yeah.
When the guest has like no idea what the show is. Like, it's rarer now, but like,
right.
Look up like the Jeanette McCurdy interview.
Oh my God.
For example, like that one's so funny.
I think my favorite interview where the guest did know what was happening was Tyler, the Creator.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and the only reason Tyler knew, because that was when the show was still pretty, not like old, but it was like kind of newer. It only had like a couple seasons, and Tyler, the Creator, went on, and Tyler knew about the show because Tyler works for Adult Swim, because he had the Witter Squad and stuff. But like the way Tyler interacted with Eric Andre was the funniest thing ever. Like, I remember the whole bit about he's like, if you're like, the episode really works best if you're a really big Tyler, the Creator fan, and you know that he is like a staunch like atheist, like he like does not believe in anything, and Eric Andre just looks at him and goes, "You believe in God?" And he just looks over at him, and like a tear like rolls down his eye, and he's like, "There's your dad." And he like points up at the balcony, and there's this like Asian man up there with like, I don't know, he's like playing some kind of instrument. It's like the funniest episode ever. I love it. But yeah, watch Eric Andre, guys. It's on Hulu.
No kidding. New season just came out. I gotta catch up on that anyway. So
yeah, me too.
Bam bam.
Well,
so we want to get into today's topic. I mean, feel crazy, mess around.
Yeah, mess around, find out. Today we wanted to talk about filmmaking, actual filmmaking.
Actual filmmaking.
No,
all the other movies we've been talking about. It's about Casey's movies, by the way.
Yeah, I just got off of a film set last weekend doing my capstone. Essentially, what is the capstone project in my college career? And it was
that's very
nice.
Exciting.
Yeah, it was very exciting.
Dude.
So yeah, anyway, we'll see y'all next week. No, I'm kidding.
So Casey, I mean, what can you tell us a little bit about the capstone movie, like what it's about, kind of what went through your head in making this one, like, and then maybe we can get into the specifics of like the process. Yeah. So this is I finally decided on the genre. I kept saying different things to different people, but it's a mystery drama is what it is. It's called Crypsis.
It's about two sisters, and our protagonist, Dana, is a very talented, intellectual, gifted individual, and she's also a hacker. She's Hackerman, and she has some issues, some like trauma with her mother, who disappeared out of her life a few years earlier, and her and her mom were pretty close. Her mom basically made her into the person she is today, and the plot we follow is there's like a mysterious sort of organization that blackmails Dana into helping them decipher a puzzle like that they have been sent. And when Dana's figuring out the puzzle, she's realizing that a lot of these clues may lead back to her mother, trying to reach out to her. So the movie's kind of about, it's got some like cryptography. Like I was really inspired by like a puzzle box like channel where this guy just and ARGs. Like that stuff really interests me. I like building like riddles. Like I like making riddles and like making things like that. I think it's really cool. And so combine that with how I just think hacker movies are cool, and there's not enough of them. It was basically born this idea.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I can't wait to see it. I don't know the specifics of the plot yet because it hasn't been released to the public, and I didn't work on this one. But I'm hype. I'm down. Yeah. But like you've done a couple short films in the past year. You've done this. You've done one that you have now done multiple times called Crimes of Good Intentions, which I'm in, by the way, everyone.
Yes.
Go check me out when that comes out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, we've talked about directors remaking their work. You did that very thing this last summer.
Yeah.
What drove you to remake your movie?
I'm sure like half of our listeners at least know that I've worked on this movie twice, or maybe they don't. But in 2019, like June or July of 2019, Luke and I set out to make our first actual short film away from school, well, it's not our first, but it's our first, like organized short film. We've done a lot of like run and gun, like kind of skit stuff in the past, but I had this idea for like a heist film, like a really like grounded, low scale, heist film. And I wrote the script for like, it took me like a year and a half to like completely finish the script because I did like 6 different drafts of it. And Luke actually helped with with the first one. He has like original story credits because we kind of sat down and like talked through it together, and it's kind of an amalgamation of thoughts and ideas. And so we set out to make it, and this is no shade or disrespect to my cast and crew of the first one, but it sucked like so bad. We had so many problems. Just to peer into like one of those problems was on our last day of filming. Like we shot for 4 days, and on the 4th day, one of my actors that was supposed to come, his wife's like family house, like her mom's house, like was burning down, and he had to drive all the way to Marshall. So we had to completely cut like day 4 of shooting and reschedule a week later. And then in the post-production process, the edit corrupted, so I had to redo the edit, and then it corrupted again. So yeah, by that time I was ready to be done with it, but I liked the idea so much that I was so disappointed that it never like completely got finished that I brought it up to Luke one day. I was like, what if I rewrote the script a little bit? Like I shortened down the script, changed it enough to where we wouldn't be doing the same exact thing again, and what if we shot it again? And he was all for it. So I was like, okay, cool. And so that's when we cast our actors, or I rewrote the script first, and he liked the newest version of the script, which I think this version of the script right now is like peak for like reiterate
It's
or
the
iteration.
best version you've done.
Yeah. I couldn't think of the word, but yeah, it's like it's the best iteration. It's the cleanest in terms of like structure and just how everything flows. I was really proud of it, and so we shot it again, and we had some hiccups this time. A death in the family actually caused me to stop working on it for a while, but I recently got back in the saddle. We did the reshoots that we needed to do on it, and I am now I've got a few more scenes to color grade, and then the color is done, and then we're going to move on to sound and scoring it, and then it'll be done. And I've actually got a trailer right now that I sent off to my composer, and he is going to make the trailer music for me, and that trailer should be out within a week.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about it. It's turning out really nicely. And at the same time, I'm also working on the one I just shot. And I think Crime should be out before Crypsis. I'm not sure on the date. I'm hoping late March for Crimes. It all just depends, though, on a number of things. So
Gotcha.
I should also mention it was way more fun to shoot Crimes the second time than the first. You wouldn't think it, but it was way more exhilarating.
I mean, you probably made less mistakes, which has got to be
that was a plus.
gratifying.
Big stretch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had a huge stretch just there. Thank you for noticing. Also, just looking outside, and it is piling up still. Oh my god. This is, I thought it had died down for a second, but the snow knows no bounds, man.
Man, no, this is the most snow I've seen in a few years, here in Arkansas at least.
It'll be a little late for this question by the time this podcast comes out, but should I call into work today podcast? Answer now.
Donna really wants to call in.
Yeah, she should.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to recommend to her, because you can chill at home and watch movies all day.
Unlisted company.
Yeah, it's true. Redacted.
So, I have another question for you, if you don't mind fielding a few more, director.
Hey, man.
I know that this might sound familiar to you, maybe because I've asked it to you before, but when you have the movie in your head versus the movie that's actually being made, like how do you like deal with that discrepancy? Like how do you get over the movie that's in your head when you're writing this script and like actually shoot the movie that's going to be made?
Gotcha. Yeah, and this is a good question, and I'm going to try to answer it the most clearly as possible as I can. For me personally, and this is like a world, like this is like an issue, or it's not really an issue, it's just like a thing that like all filmmakers everywhere will go through, is especially if you're the writer. You have this idea of what the movie's going to look like, of what it's going to like feel like, and the performances you're going to get out of your actors. And when you start shooting, 98% of the time it's not going to look anything like you had imagined it. And I've ran into that, especially with Crypsis. It looks almost nothing like I had pictured. That doesn't mean it's going to be bad. It just means that if you can't, unless you're a hardcore believer in the auteur theory, where everything that is you see on screen is completely controlled by one person, writer, director, producer, actor, even sometimes, then you're gonna know, like, unless you believe in the auteur theory, then you have to know that like what's on screen is like an amalgamation of everybody doing their job, and you're really just there to facilitate them doing their job and make sure that your vision is at least somewhat close to what you had originally intended. And with Crimes, the second time we shot it, it turned out better than what I had in my head. With Crypsis, I think what was in my head maybe been a little bit too ambitious, but that's not to say it's bad. That's just to say that my process with dealing with that is just to like kind of admit the fact that everybody has like wild imaginations. At least most people do. For me especially, I get an idea of like, oh, it's going to be like this, like the color's going to look like this, and the actors are going to do exactly this. But the truth is you can't like control everything so easily. So, for example, with the acting, with actors, I had my actors do something incredible on Crypsis, and that was like go beyond what I thought the script could and the dialogue could like sound like, and what their blocking would look like. They went beyond that, and it made it so much better, and I was okay with it because nobody can read your mind, so nobody can really see what you're trying to see like in your eyes when you're filming. And that's just something you have to remember when actually going from script to screen, that nobody's reading your mind, and you have to communicate what's in your mind the best way that you can. And sometimes, yeah, it's not going to look like what you imagined it, but that is okay. That is 100% fine. I think David Fincher had a quote in an interview talking about like film, like shooting a film, and like what a film is. It's moments that every crew member is a part of facilitating and creating. The actors may do something that is not originally in your script, that you had never even thought of, that veers off from, you know, what's on the page, but ends up elevating the scene. The light, you know, the lighting technician may have, or the DP might have an idea for a shot or like a different way the scene would go, and it's not at all what you had pictured, and you may be tentative, but if you let them do it, then it could turn out really good. So for me, it's always really easy to say, to quote you, say goodbye to the movie that's in my head and say hello to the one that's actually being made. Sometimes that's really easy because it works out for the better. Things elevate and things change. Things change, and normally it's really good. So I would just say roll with it. I mean, you have to. You can't. I mean, you can like stop everybody and be like, "This is not what I want," but chances are sometimes what you want is not as good as what everybody else is going to give you. So I would say roll with it.
Nice. Well, there's a lot of clippable moments in there. Thanks. For that. So my final question for you is, for anyone who wants to start making movies, like especially on an amateur level, do you have any advice for them in starting that process, or how they should begin? Like, what's your best piece of advice for someone who just wants to go out and do it?
I would say go out and do it, but with caution. The best advice I can give to amateur filmmakers like myself is a lot of what you'll hear and what you'll speak to everybody, they'll always ask what your budget is. And you don't have to have a budget to make a movie. Like now in 2021, it is easier than, like, it's like the easiest thing in the world. It's the most accessible thing in the world. I'll say that. It's not the easiest thing in the world to make a movie. It's not. It's hard. It's a grueling process. It makes you want to die. But it's the most accessible thing you can do right now, or one of the most accessible things, is shoot a movie. Because right now, you can literally shoot a movie with your phone. If you have an iPhone or even just a smartphone, you can shoot a movie. You don't need to have a budget. I will say, if you have a budget,
make sure that budget goes to the right places, and don't focus it all on one thing. That's been my mistake 3 different times now, and I'm just now getting over that hurdle. And I would say, if you think your film is going to be bad, do it anyway. Like, shoot it anyway. You got to start somewhere. Not everybody's first movie is going to be, a masterpiece or perfect, unless you're Orson Welles. But he was a special case. And a trust fund boy, I'm pretty sure. So, but but especially in Arkansas, where the industry is not here at all, it's so hard to find inspiration or find backing, to make a movie. And really, you gotta put your big boy pants on and do it yourself. Like, literally, Arkansas filmmaking is just DIY filmmaking. You have to. There's not a whole lot of resources here, which sucks. But if you have the passion, if you have the drive, if you have just the force of will to want to make movies, then you will make a movie. And it doesn't matter if your first one's bad. My first one's bad. Actually, my first 3 are bad. I would consider Crimes and Crypsis to be good. I'm going to call them good. I also like Cheeses and Chili, my other one that's on YouTube. I'm really proud of that one. But, I've made several short films, and they're pretty much all bad. But when you make a good one, it is the most exhilarating feeling in the world. And in fact, even if you make a bad film, it's so exhilarating because you actually made something and you put it out there, and that takes a lot of because filmmaking is an exhilarating process, and there's nothing for me. If you love film and you like making film as much as me, it's always going to be just the most fun experience, and such a rush, such a high, making a film from pre-production to all the way till it's finished in post. It's pretty awesome. You don't need anything fancy to make a movie. If you want to make a movie, just go make a movie, and eventually you will, you'll get the funds to get better and better. That's what happened to us. We started out with a really crappy camera, and then we got a budget, and we got a good camera. We got some good lights. We got decent sound. Went out and shot a couple movies with it. And then for my capstone project, I actually for the first time, I used the school's equipment, because we got to mess with really, really, really good equipment. And so
nice.
Crypsis is going to look super good. It's going to look very good, and I'm very proud of that. And also, if you're wondering, I'm just going to throw this out there. You don't need to go to school for filmmaking. You really don't. After my 4 years, I figured out, I learned a lot, but I learned just as much from YouTube, to be honest with you. And really, what does that say about Arkansas's film programs and stuff? But don't let that discourage you from going to college, because you meet a lot of people. You meet contacts, and you can develop relationships with really talented people. I go to school with some really talented people, and I'm very excited to see the other films being made this semester, to be honest with you, because I read the scripts, and there are some really good ones. I'm thinking mine's probably going to be the worst one, honestly. But yeah, man, just that's my advice, is to just do it, because that's the only way you're going to learn from your mistakes. That's the only way I learned from mine. I thought I could just go to school, watch all the YouTube videos, and be like, all right, time to make a good movie. But really, the only way you learn what works and what doesn't, and what's good, what's bad, is if you do it and you learn from your mistakes. I learn at least 3 things every time I shoot a film. So yeah.
I read a quote on Reddit the other day. This isn't going to add much to what you've already said, but it said, "Don't be afraid to look foolish as a beginner, because it allows you to become graceful as a master." So right. Just don't worry when you start out. Learn. You got to live and learn a little bit. You can't just pick up everything from like secondhand knowledge. You have to make some mistakes firsthand, and that's how I've learned most things in my life the best way. And I hate to say that mistakes are the only way you can learn something, but the hard way often does end up being the way that sticks more.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And nobody's going to be judging you super hard on your first film. Like, obviously, like, you can't expect everybody to, like, nobody's going to criticize you super hard. Like, that was my problem. I was like, oh my God, this has to be perfect or everybody's going to hate it. Like, everybody just wants to support, or most people, at least your friends and family should, like, support you in that. Somebody will support you. Somebody understands,
Yeah.
So,
I've done I haven't done like actual films like you, but like back in the day we whipped the old flip camera out and,
yes, the flip camera.
Shot some films with that thing, and I don't know, like I wasn't making real movies or anything, but like even though those movies are bad, they were never really meant to be all that great, and I had fun and I learned along the way anyway. And my family, likes to bring them up on YouTube every now and then and watch them. And I mean, that's the appeal. Like, even if you go out and you make something that's not like a work of art, like, fuck it. If you have like a decent family or a decent set of friends, they'll support you anyway. And, you can worry about making your masterpiece later.
Yeah.
I watched actually a really interesting video essay on YouTube this week called Don't Touch the Fish.
Yes, I love that.
You saw
video.
That?
Yes, yeah.
So it was so cool. It was talking about student filmmaking, and it compared it to like sushi making in Japan, like how we should approach it. So like in Japan, sushi chefs, first they gotta just learn how to cook the rice. That's like their one thing. They've got to master that skill for years and years. And then like I think you become allowed to like touch the fish once you've really mastered like the rice and wringing the like towels, and then you can like maybe come up with new recipes like decades down the line. Like, you don't become like a bona fide chef overnight. Like, that progression doesn't happen. You have to master the fundamentals before you can move on. And so the thesis of the video was like, just don't shoot for the moon in your first movie. Like, don't shoot like Interstellar whenever you're trying to make a student film, or like a war movie. Do something that that's grounded, that you can actually accomplish and master the fundamentals, and then go out there. Oh my God, people are going out in the snow. Oh, you guys are gonna be cold.
Yeah, I agree with you though. Definitely have to, especially when the writing process, write what you know, write what's at your disposal, write what you're interested in, scale it down to what is available and to what is achievable, with your resources.
Yeah. That's some pretty standard, like, rooted in success advice right there. Just like, I don't know too many people who'd argue with that.
Yeah. And that's not to say don't be ambitious. I've definitely been ambitious, but
try and check yourself. Like,
yeah.
Can I do this?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Don't set yourself on a path that you can't follow up with, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
So we've kind of hit time, but like, I just want to say, like, if anyone has made like any short films or they have any art they want to share, please hit us up at the Twitter or the newly formed Instagram page.
Yes.
Which we have up. What is that username? Mind.
It's mind over. Yeah, mind_over_movies.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
And we're Mind Over Movies 2 on Twitter. No underscores required. Please share with us what you've made. We're not going to be jerks. We just want to see it. I think that's dope.
I did too. I love watching other people's like shorts and stuff, and what other people make. I think it's fascinating that people are as creative as they are, and so if you got anything, drop it. We just want to see it. Support local filmmaking. That's my number one thing, especially in Arkansas, because Arkansas sucks for the industry. They don't let anybody film over here, and they don't fund the arts, and it's really crappy. So we want to showcase your art. We want to see it.
So before we tune out, Casey, would you like to tell us where we'll be able to watch Crimes of Good Intentions and Crypsis? Where will those be available?
Oh, sorry, I yawned. So
you're good. I had to get my stretch in earlier.
So let's see. Cheez-Its and Chili, which was my film that I did last year, is on YouTube on the channel that I upload the podcast on, which is Casey Hubbard. And Crimes will be available on that same YouTube channel, and so will Crypsis. Don't have specific dates for those yet, but it's very soon. So probably when the trailer releases in a week or so, I'll have a set date. But yeah, it'll be on the YouTube channel Casey Hubbard. Go check them out. Go check out Cheez-Its and Chili if you haven't. I like that one a lot. I'm really proud of that one.
Dope. And now's a good time to mention that the snow is creeping through my door and filling up my living room. I think I'm gonna freeze to death now.
Okay.
Oh God. Well, maybe see you next week, Casey.
Okay. Stay warm. Okay.
I don't know if I can. Oh God.
Okay. What's that sound? Why is it? Oh my God. Are you? Oh no.